from Disney to Disney doing shows for Disney? Like, what, is he going to sing
No,
Disney songs? Like, I mean, what does that look like for Alejandro? I don't think it's possible.
No,
I don't.
not at all.
I don't think he could have either. One of the memories that will stay with me a long time is after they announced he was second, and Lane was first, and Lane sang a song, and all the other idols came up and gathered around him. There he is, way in the background, doing the happy dance. I mean, he was genuinely happy, like completely relieved, and had a huge smile on his face. And someone made a funny meme and set it up about 5 times of him dancing. But I'm at the same place as you guys. I was so, well, as you, Sarah. I wish I had the foresight that you have, Stephen. It would have saved me a lot of anxiety at the time. Because I really was. I was invested. And I did not know. I was totally ambivalent. I had such strong feelings in both directions. But, you know, something else, after a really hard day on Idol, stressful, had to be coached to go in and actually perform. That they've said that happened a couple nights. A lot of these nights he went and he escaped to his Instagram Live. And after May 10th, he was actually turning the picture off in almost like a confessional. And so he would sit there and get into his zone, probably not paying attention to anyone's comments, just putting his head down like he often does and playing. And Stephen, you said, it was a therapy session for him. And Sarah said it's an escape. And I absolutely believe that, there's this picture of the singer-songwriter that I've had since I was young as that person who's just wants to close his eyes and get into his zone and just be completely immersed in the music that he's creating. And Alejandro, after all these years of kind of having that idea, here up pops Alejandro, and he's making an art of it. I mean, he's really doing something special with his desire to bring that kind of passion and intensity out of his punk background into even his softer music, his folk music, and the Instagram Live music too.
Yeah, I miss the Instagram Lives. I definitely do. It was some of the most special nights of my life. And that's crazy to say as a full-grown woman that sitting on Instagram Live with this guy is, special, but it really was. And I think that for all of us that were there at that point, we kind of all bonded over that. And it's just something that I unfortunately don't think is going to repeat. I hope for Jim's sake it does, because Jim's kind of devastated about the loss of the Instagram Lives. I think that was his heart, was involved in those lives and making videos to them. So I hope they come back for that. I want to hear them too, I'm not going to lie, but, I have my feelings about whether they will. Because I just think the bigger he gets, the harder it is going to be. I've represented a couple of, probably B-level celebrities, and it's hard for them, and they're not even, where he is. So I think that it is a difficult prospect when you're talking about managing social media from that perspective, because, and he said it in the interview the other day, he went from, a couple hundred followers to like almost 1 million. So, and getting 100,000 messages. Like, how do you even begin to deal with that? Not let alone having 10,000 people watching you on Instagram Live. I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot, and I think that he'll reach a place where he is better, and I think he's gotten better with his fans actually recently. But I do think it's a lot for him to deal with and get used to, and I mean, I can kind of speak for that. I mean, I'm not Alejandro and I'm not a music star, but I do deal with Instagrams and things that are pretty popular, and I can tell you, like, from my perspective, just trying to answer all that stuff it's daunting. It is daunting. So, and they're not at that level. So, I don't know, and I'm sure Steve can kind of speak to that, because I'm sure your messages once you reached 100,000 followers, like, it was a whole different thing than it was when you had a couple hundred followers, right?
It is, and one thing that I always prided myself on was that I would do my best to talk to everybody. Maybe not always in the comment section, because the YouTube comment section is it's not very well organized. I feel like that's one part of that website that they haven't quite figured out all the way. Very hard to respond to everybody. But when my Instagram blew up, it went from 7,000 followers to almost 15,000. The messages, it's hard. It's really hard to reply, and I had to turn my notifications off because you get them throughout the night, and I can't even imagine on his level what that would be like, because I have trouble dealing with it now, and I do this full time, so I have from this time I like to look at these, and then I try to respond to these, and then I do the emails, and I understand he probably has management and a little bit more help, but I can't even fathom what that would be like. Especially, it seems like he has a lot of anxieties, just because he does a lot of the same things that I do, put something on Instagram and delete it right away, or delete your Instagram altogether, bring it back. I've been there. I've done all that, and so I can just empathize from a distance how hard that would be. The other thing I was going to say about the Instagram lives, I don't know what his contractual agreements are, but I wonder if, and I could be totally wrong, you guys correct me if you know, I wonder if contractually he's not able to keep previewing music or riffing like that. I wonder if there's something in his contract that states that he won't just be putting out music like that.
Well, I think not, just because of the fact that he still posts videos of music he's working on. And granted, the Instagrams are only a minute, right? They're very short. So maybe the Instagram lives, because they're mini concerts almost. So that's a possibility. But he does still put videos out of music he's doing.
Yeah, it's just the live sessions that I don't see much of anymore, and I guess part of me, I think what you said, it's almost like a live concert thing. I just wonder, maybe not, but I just wonder if that would be something that maybe they're upset about. Not upset about, but that they contractually told him, hey, maybe you don't go riffing on these because you are on tour,
Mm-hmm.
I would be very surprised personally. He said on an early Instagram, I think it was March, that he did play Out Loud once on an Instagram Live, but that's the only song he's ever played that he previously wrote. And since then, every single song that I've heard, none of them have been produced. At least not.
Well, I don't know. He played alone on one of his Instagram lives, because I remember, or not alone, it was home. Because he sampled the music a week before the home show in Pomona, and then he started playing the home song. That was the song he did in the beginning, remember? That he kind of freestyled? And that was a sample from an Instagram Live.
Well, there might have been a live that I didn't hear, although I've heard all but just a few since late March. But that's the kind of music that he would do, certainly. But I don't remember hearing that at all.
I remember hearing the melody and then hearing it again during the Pomona show. But I could be wrong. He has so much music. I mean, he writes a song a day. Some of them are bound to sound familiar,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, I don't know. It's all interesting, right? Trying to figure out the puzzle pieces to Alejandro's career right now. So, are you going to any of the fall tour, Steven?
So, the fall tour, I don't know, I'm sure you guys know this, sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know where I was going to live at the time, but I do remember pulling them up, trying to find a show. I wanted to go to, he's playing at the Vic in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for about 4 years, and I went to a couple shows at the Vic. It's a really, really, really cool venue. It's like an old theater. It looks real medieval on the inside, and I wanted to go to that. Tickets were $20, but of course they're sold out.
Right.
I didn't see anything really in the Milwaukee area, so unfortunately, because I was moving, I didn't know where I was going to end up, and now I don't have tickets to anything. So would I have loved to have gone? Maybe I use some of my hookups and see if I can go to one. but I would have loved to have seen him at the Vic. I think it would have been a really cool moment. It's very, I don't know, if you guys ever get a chance to see the inside of that venue, it's really amazing. It's a theater, and I feel like with the theatrics that Alejandro has, it would have been such an amazing experience.
Yeah, I can't wait for the fall tour. I think it's but they did, so in for next year, they did say that they're adding more tour dates next year. His management did. So,
Oh, that's good.
maybe not this year, but maybe next year. But he is, like, he did talk about the theater venues. He's super excited about this because he talked about it in both of the articles he was interviewed in this week. He talked about doing theater venues. So I think, I don't know, like, I think when I think about what the fall tour could hold in store, it's like, I hope that he just shocks everybody. I can see it happening. I want it to be like an experience. I hope that it's shell shock. I hope that, he does what he wants to do and not what people expect him to do. Because I think that that's like the downfall of society right now. There's so much criticism on Facebook and social media in general, and TV shows have fallen victim to this, right? Like, they do what the fans want, and then the writing isn't as good. So, I want to see him just freaking kill it. Like, just kill it. And he has, I don't know if you're familiar with his band members at all, but his band is super talented. DK, the drummer, is maybe one of the best drummers I've seen in a long time. Max is there, Travis the coach. So I'm just beyond excited for the new music, right? Because I think that there's going to be a lot of new music this fall.
Yeah, and for me, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. So one, I did notice the live band at the Lala shows that he did, and I really enjoyed seeing that because, again, not really knowing his musical background, but kind of knowing what he grew up around, to see him with a live band is really the best way, in my opinion, to really see what he wants to put out in the world and really to see him be himself. And you could see that when he's jumping around on stage, just having a great time with a live band, almost like all your dreams are coming true. I'm excited for an album. I think that he'll put a lot of work into it. He'll have to go back over and over again because, as you can kind of tell, he's a bit of a musical perfectionist, which I think we all appreciate because what he puts out is amazing. Right. Even if it's just a live stream, it's like he can perfect a live stream. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But
yeah.
I'm excited for an album. I'm excited for new music. I'm excited just to see him keep growing into himself. I think that when you deal with getting all this fame at once, there's a lot to take in. And I think that, those expectations people are putting on him, it causes you to always have a battle with who you think you are and who you think you should be, but who you want to be. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that within this fall tour, these tours, seeing the support he has, and going into next year, maybe putting out his first album, I hope he just really finds a way to separate it so that it's healthy for him. Like, in order for him to have real good longevity, I think he's going to have to find that mix.
What about you, Jim? What do you hope for this fall?
Well, I've got this weird fear that if I really give too much praise to one style, then he's going to change it up, just to subvert those expectations of his fans. Like, you think you know me? I'm moving on. I think you can follow? Give it a try. But no, I'm I got to see Lollapalooza in Park West, and I got to on video, and then I got to go down to Viva Pomona and actually see it in person, and it was quite an experience. I mean, he really did on that stage, and he seemed even much more comfortable than he was, I think, at Park West and Lollapalooza. And I'm excited for more of the same. Maybe he'll pepper in some of his acoustic stuff. Maybe he'll show us something completely different. Maybe he's going to finally bring out the keyboard, and he's going to sit up there and give us an electronic session like he did down in Nashville.
Yeah.
So I'm just super excited for it.
I mean, I think that's part of, he is really good at keeping the mystery alive. I said that on Facebook today. I'm like, he just, you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, I certainly didn't expect to wake up on Monday to his entire Instagram being gone. And people were freaking out over that, but you just never know what you're going to walk into. And that's kind of really exciting because you don't know if he's just going to, I mean, he could totally change it up and do all EDM for the fall tour. And then you're like, okay, which I think will really piss off the American Idol fans that don't get to hear Out Loud. But I think for a big portion of his followers, like, I think they'll be super excited about it. I think his versatility, you know, just keeps me hooked because I get bored easy. You know, like, I listened to Paula Abdul, you know, for like a month when she had Straight Up way back in the 80s, and it was awesome, and I got bored of it. And you know, we're going on, what, 8 months now, 9 months? I've not gotten bored with him yet. So, and I think that the tours are going to just reinforce that feeling. I can't even imagine what it's like to see him live. Like, I just want to see him live. Like, I just really, and I've seen the streams. Like, I watch, Jim does live streams on his Facebook group, Steven. So if you ever do want to watch him in concert, like, just join Jim's group. Like, he does live streams. Like, usually there's somebody doing a live stream at every show. And it is truly, you know, it's truly one of those experiences that it's just as good as, it's not just as good as being there live, but if you can't be there live, like, it's the next best thing, you know, like, because you get to watch the whole show and you get to see him and what he says. And I think partly what he says during concerts, he blows me away with how mature he is sometimes, like, you know, about technology and loving people, and just, he's just really evolved for his age, I think. And so, yeah, I mean, if you want to join under another name so people don't, like, bombard you, but he does do lives of all his concerts. So,
no, that's really good to know, because I think that's one thing too, is that the YouTube ones, they usually are cut up in a way where it's like just the song. It's like a 2-minute song or whatever, so you don't get that full, like, you know, the speech before the song, which I think is just as important as the song sometimes. So that's good to know. I'll keep that in mind for those live streams.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, how about this last one I did, Sarah? There was like 13 minutes or something of him just prepping and walking around the stage and leaning into his bassist and other band members and having discussion, and the music in the background and the din of the crowd. And it was kind of special to just turn it on early and let the people back in the group just kind of experience the pre-concert, bustle up on stage.
Yeah, no, I've always said it, I love the live streams in your group. I struggle with the fact that he hates technology and social media, but I do love, it's a very bonding, so we all watch these together when they happen, and it's like we're all at the concert together. And, you know, because I'm in nursing school, I can't really, like, go to every concert right now. And it was, I remember the first one. When was the first one that was done? Pomona. You did Pomona night too. And
the home.
Well, I watched the Pomona night 2 one. And there was like 30, 40 people watching this together. And it was just not as good as being there live, but it really was the next best thing. Like, it was like being able to bond over that experience and seeing the entire concert, right? Because I've seen clips here and there, and I really wish, although somebody did record Lollapalooza, because there was a cameraman in every single shot that I saw. So somebody has that concert, and they're just not sharing it, and I really wish that they would. But, like, there's something about seeing the entire concert, you know, and being there at 12 o'clock at night watching this concert. And, you know, I don't know, it's truly a very special thing. And especially with him, because he's always different. And there's always some element that he's changing up and doing something else, or changing the words to Millennial Love. I think there's now 20 million verses of Millennial Love.
I think you're accurate. Yep. And let's not forget that, you know, when we do the live streams, we've got people from the Philippines and Australia and all different parts of the world that are watching too, and that's kind of a special experience. hard to duplicate in any other way.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's why I'm so torn on the social media thing, because I know he hates it. But I said this on YouTube the other day on our Homie Nation channel. I was like, I almost wish he would just live stream it and charge for it, and then outlaw phones at his concerts, because I think it's a good negotiation for people being able to join in that moment. He makes some money off of it, and then there's no phones in the crowd.
So there's actually this technology. It's pretty great. I'm for it to an extent. I think we live in a world right now where it's hard to not let people have their cell phones, because you never know when the next, tragic thing's going to happen, which really sucks that that's how you have to think about things. But there is this technology that bands like the Misfits have been using, and I think some comedians have used this as well. But you go in, and they give you this little pouch. It's like a black pouch. Mm-hmm. You put your cell phone in it, and you close it, and it locks. And so for the remainder of the concert, you have your phone on you, but you can't actually access it. And a lot of people have done that for numerous reasons. The Misfits was a commercial reason. They wanted to be able to either sell the tickets, which they did sell out all their dates, or they wanted to record it and release a live version without people really spoiling the surprises of what you're going to get. The comedians obviously do it because in comedy, when they tour, they tell the same jokes. So if you're recording it and then uploading it, everyone already knows the material. Right. And I think that to someone like him who is having this trouble right now with technology, and I think a lot of that comes back to the anxiety, and I don't think he deals with criticism very well, hence the deleting of the Instagram and then bringing it right back, and some of those other little things, and then the I hate technology vibe that he goes off of. I think it is just because, a million people can say you're the best in the world, but one person says they don't like you, and it's really easy to hold on to that. I deal with it every day on YouTube. I'm sure, you said with your voice, someone thinks about it, and that's all you think about now is that one person that said that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, you start to become critical of yourself.
Yeah.
And, I'm actually okay with the idea of him using these because, the people get to hold their phone. They still have their stuff in it. But for that, 1 hour session, it's just locked. And there's no listening, there's no recording, none of that stuff. And I do think that it does keep the magic there because, like we said, you never know what to expect from Alejandro. And I think that's something that he wants in his concerts as well, not just the criticism. But if you take that part out, I think he wants people to be able to walk into not knowing what they're going to get that night.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah?
Yeah.
As long as we're talking about this, I hope you guys don't mind if I take the opportunity to say, now I've got a YouTube channel, and I've made videos to his Instagram lives because they're a lot more pleasant to watch with something to watch rather than watching people's comments scroll down. And I've done the live streams and these kind of things, but I've said several times in my group, I've said it on my Instagram, it's written in the descriptions of my YouTube videos, that, I'm in this, it's not monetized, I'm in this for the music, and if I ever got any kind of real clear idea of what his position is on that, I'd be willing to stop the live streams. I would pull down my YouTube channel, and you really kind of cease and desist on all those things. But that's just part of my fandom. I want to see Alejandro succeed, and I want to abide by his wishes. And all this has been fun and everything, but ultimately, it's all about him and his growth.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Social media that we do.
I think that Jim. I think I struggle with this, as you know, and I think he would be fine with the fan groups doing it. I mean, maybe not. I'm not going to pretend to know what he's, thinking, but I think it's the dispersing it on the internet part. I don't know. Sometimes I do wish he would be a little clearer about what he wants, because it is kind of hard to figure it out sometimes. But I do appreciate...
I hate the internet, screw what everyone else thinks, do what you want, those two messages.
Yeah, I hate the internet, I hate technology, but, do whatever you want. It's kind of okay, well, do we do whatever we want, or do we hate the internet? So, I don't know, part of me feels like he would be okay with the fan groups having it. And sometimes I feel like it's kind of a mixed message when you say, I hate technology, but do what you want. And until we have clarification, I mean, you know, I don't know. I've kind of taken the stance, until he says it, I'm not going to read into it.
Yeah, that's been my position. More will be revealed, and as soon as it is, then, you know, I'll do my best to abide by his wishes and the way he wants to do things.
Yeah, I literally changed the rules of my group to say this group abides by what he wants, whatever that is at the moment. So if he says I don't want if I don't want something streamed, I don't want it on my group. You know, like if he ever does say that. But I don't know. Who knows? It's hard to tell sometimes, and I think he'll get there. Like I think he's getting clearer and clearer as time goes on. You know, like I do feel like he has made a lot of strides with dealing with his fans recently.
Just in the last couple of months, he's come a long way.
Yeah.
At the end of Pomona, the summer tour, he was done.
I agree. Well, that was a really weird concert, though. Like, the people yelling at him. I don't know. Like, it was a really weird concert compared to the other stuff I saw.
And by night 2, I mean, night 1 was really bad. And night 2, I think he kind of found a way to come in and put his head down and play. But, yeah, of course, a couple days later, he was supposed to go up to Washington to the Idol reunion, and he backed out of that. And I always figured, you know, after everything that happened, to go up there and to you know, be in that lobby for an hour and a half, talking to VIP ticket holders face to face, and I just don't know if he had it in at that time. And then he was quiet for a while, and then he sprang back by like I never imagined once he showed up at Park West.
Yeah, that was exciting. It was so awesome. But anyway, we digress, right? We're digressing all over the place right now. So, and that happens. That's why I keep kind of recording until we hang up, because, you know, we just kind of have these conversations that just are really organic, and I love that. But I am going to wrap up. I know everybody has lives. I definitely have to study today, so I just wanted to say, you know, Stephen, thanks so much for doing this, because I am such a fan of yours, and I really am trying to have people on the show that are fans of his, and, you know, we want to keep it positive. This show will never be about making money, because I just don't see that as being part of who I am. But, you know, I don't take away from other people that do make money on the internet. It's fine. I just have my thing. But I really, really appreciate you being here. Jim, as always, like, you know, you're my dude. You're like my dude that on social media.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're like my work husband, kind of. You are. You're like kind of my work husband. But, you know, I just really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I was so excited about this podcast and you being here and just talking about, you know, something we all love. And so with that, like, do you have any closing words for all the Alejandro fans out there?
Yeah, so first I want to thank you guys for having me on this podcast. Again, I don't typically do stuff like this, but you guys just seem so positive and sincere, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to do it. So I am appreciative, and I'm glad that I did. You guys have been very welcoming and fun to talk to. I definitely think that for the fans that are listening, you guys are obviously ride or die for Alejandro, and I love that. Definitely keep an open mind over the next year as we see him evolve and try different music styles out. Even though it may not be your favorite style, I do believe that him being able to do all these styles that he loves is really him just opening up, and, you know, it's that therapy session that we talked about numerous times in this podcast. So definitely keep an open mind, because everything he's tried so far has been wonderful, and I've been a fan. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much. I also think it's really respectable that you guys are doing this podcast and not trying to throw advertising behind it. I think that channels like mine oftentimes get a bad rep because people just assume that you're going to be making a bunch of money off of other people's content. And the truth couldn't be further from that. The majority of my videos don't make any money. It really is, you're doing it because you're passionate about it. the money comes from different aspects. It's never about the music, and that's what I love about it most. And so when I see people like you guys making this podcast and doing it just to spend a few hours talking about somebody that you love and help promote them, I think that's just a really beautiful thing. So I highly respect you guys.
Yeah, I really wasn't trying to like include you in that whole making money thing. Because I know the realities of advertising on the internet, trust me. It's not all it's cracked up to be unless you're like, you know, one of these insane social media influencers. But yeah, I so appreciate you being here. And Jim, do you have any closing I was going to say closing arguments, but that's not really like the thing. Do you have any closing comments?
Yes. Stephen, I just wanted to say that I ran across your reaction to the audition just a couple days after you posted it, and it really helped kind of generate that excitement inside me. And I followed your reactions ever since, and I was so excited when I first heard you were coming on this program, and it has been absolutely awesome.
Okay, everybody, so that's it for Scary Fan Party this week. I really want to take a minute and say thanks to Stephen and Jim, my co-host, for being here and always, you know, having such interesting things to say about Alejandro. I think that it kind of keeps the faith alive for me that so many people believe in him. And stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more podcasts coming up. We have a lot of great guests coming up, so some I'm still working on, but you know, I'm not going to tell you who that is because it's a surprise. But take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye.